The day I turned 16, my stepfather sold me like a product. "She's too much trouble," he told the couple who signed the papers. My name is Nova Lynn, and I thought giving me away would silence me forever. Instead, I built an empire out of the very pain he gave me, and returned to take everything back. It happened in our small apartment. My mom had died 2 years earlier from cancer, leaving me alone with Harold, my stepdad. He never liked me. He always complained about bills and how much I ate. On my birthday, he called me into the living room. A man and woman sat there with fake smiles. "Nova, these nice people will take care of you now," Harold said. I stared, confused. "What do you mean?" The papers were already signed, a fake guardianship deal. That night, they drove me away. My things fit in one trash bag. I cried in the back seat as city lights faded. Harold waved without a tear. In that moment, I vowed to fight back no matter what. The new house was big but cold. They locked my room at night. School ended. They said I would homeschool, but it was all lies. I felt lost, but something inside me refused to break. I quickly learned that the new family, the Parkers, only wanted unpaid labor. They locked my phone, kept me from school, and stole my identity to open credit accounts. Mrs. Parker handed me a mop the first day. "Earn your keep," she snapped. I cleaned from morning until night. Floors, laundry, cooking. Mr. Parker watched me too closely, his eyes making my skin crawl. They took my ID for paperwork. Soon, bills came in my name, credit cards maxed out. One night, I sneaked a look at their computer. Accounts in my name, thousands owed. Panic gripped me. I was trapped. No friends, no way out. They gave me old books for homeschool, but I studied online when they slept. Harold called once to check if I was behaving. The Parkers laughed with him on speaker. "She's perfect now," Mrs. Parker said. Rage burned inside me. At night, I planned my escape. One day, I found their safe open. Inside were documents about me. They had paid Harold $1 million under the table, hidden as a business deal. The truth hit hard. I copied everything to a hidden USB. Some days, isolation almost broke me, but I held on. Their greed would become my weapon. I discovered I had been legally signed away. Harold received $1 million in shady compensation. The papers in the safe proved it. The guardianship looked real enough to trap me. The Parkers belonged to a network that traded kids for cash. To Harold, I was troublesome, but worth a fortune to them for labor and fraud. I hid the USB in my shoe. Days turned into endless chores. I pretended to obey while waiting for my chance. Mr. Parker caught me near the computer once. "Snoop again, and you'll regret it," he threatened. I nodded, heart racing. By 17, I was ready to run. I had saved small amounts from errands. One stormy night, they went out for dinner. I grabbed the USB, my backpack, and fled. Rain soaked me as I ran through the streets. No phone, no plan. Shelters turned me away at first. I was too young. Finally, one let me stay. I cried myself to sleep, clutching the USB. It was my proof, my weapon. Harold thought he had won, pocketing that money. But I would expose everything, the network, the deals. I started free classes at the library. Survival became my only goal. I would rise from this nightmare. I often thought back to life before everything fell apart. My biological mom was warm and loving. She worked 2 jobs after my real dad left when I was 5. Then Harold appeared, charming everyone at first. They married quickly. Mom believed we would finally be a real family. But cancer struck fast. 6 months later, she was gone. I was only 14. Harold changed the moment she died. "Your mom's bills ruined me," he complained constantly. He drank more and yelled about every penny. Friends drifted away, he scared them off. At school, my grades dropped. Teachers asked questions, but he lied, saying I was acting out. He controlled everything, even the money Mom left. One night, he slapped me for talking back. "You're lucky I keep you," he snarled. I hid the bruises, too ashamed to tell anyone. Neighbors whispered, but no one helped. After Mom's funeral, he sold her belongings for cash. I begged him to stop. "This is my house now," he said coldly. That was when he started meeting shady people. I overheard him once. "The kid's worth something." Fear grew inside me. By 16, I was gone. His manipulation had been perfect. He played the grieving husband while planning to profit. That memory fueled my determination. I ran away at 17 with just a backpack and the USB full of stolen records. Freedom felt terrifying at first. I hitched rides to a bigger city. Shelters were crowded, but a kind woman let me stay temporarily. The USB was my lifeline, proof of fraud, names, bank details. I worked cash jobs, washing dishes in diners. My hands grew rough, but I was free. Nights, I used library computers to research laws. Guardianship scams were real and hidden. I contacted a hotline anonymously. Keep that evidence safe, they advised. I did, making copies. Hunger came often, but I never gave up. I changed my appearance, cut my hair short, used fake names for jobs. Harold probably never searched. He had his money. The Parkers might have looked, but I stayed hidden. One job led to another, waitress, store clerk. I saved every dollar. The USB showed dozens of kids sold like me. Anger turned into purpose. I would expose them all. I signed up for night school and learned the basics again. A counselor saw my drive and helped with new ID papers. At 18, I rented a tiny room. Nightmares still came, but I pushed forward. This was only the beginning of my fight. I lived in shelters at first, worked diner jobs, and studied coding and finance every night. I swore I would never feel powerless again. Shelter nights were loud and crowded. I listened to other stories and learned how to survive. Diner shifts started before dawn, pouring coffee, cleaning tables. Tips were small but steady. After work, I went to the library. I taught myself coding with free online courses. I read finance books too, learning how money really worked. Never again, I whispered to myself as my eyes burned from the screen. I refused to stay weak. A regular customer, a tech guy, noticed my questions. He lent me books and explained concepts. You've got real talent, he said. I built simple programs to track my expenses. I studied the USB data in secret. Patterns in the illegal deals emerged. I promised myself I would destroy those networks. I moved into a shared apartment to split rent. Jobs stacked up, diner by day, small coding gigs online. I saved for a cheap laptop. When I finally bought it, everything changed. I coded my first real app prototype. It failed many times, but I learned. Harold was running for office now, I heard. I laughed bitterly. My life was rebuilding, piece by piece. I was no longer a victim. I was becoming dangerous. I joined a free mentorship program at a community center. A retired venture capital investor took interest in my ideas and mentored me in secret. The program flyer said, "Share your startup ideas." I signed up, nervous but hopeful. In group discussions, I talked about my fraud tracking app concept. A quiet older man listened carefully, Victor Hale, a retired VC. Afterward, he approached me. "Your idea is strong. Let's talk more." We began meeting secretly in quiet cafes. He saw the fire in me. "You've been through hell, Nova," he said gently. I trusted him slowly and shared parts of my past. He never pitied me, just nodded. Turn that pain into power. He taught me business basics. Pitching ideas, finding funding, building teams. Start small and smart, he advised. I improved my prototype. He connected me anonymously to helpful coders. He even paid for my first server with no strings attached. "I believe in you," he said. His own story inspired me. He had built fortunes, but now helped underdogs like me. "I see myself in you." Our sessions were intense. By 19, my prototype was ready. Victor reviewed it. "This can change lives. Launch it anonymously." Fear and excitement mixed inside me. Harold's political campaign was growing. My mentor became like family. "You will change the world," he told me. For the first time, I believed it. I created an anonymous app called GuardWatch that tracked illegal guardianship deals and family fraud. It went viral fast. I launched it under a fake name with Victor's help. The interface was simple. Users could report scams and see patterns on maps. I uploaded clean data from my USB to start. The first week brought only a few downloads. Then someone shared it on a big forum. Suddenly it exploded. Thousands downloaded it. Users posted their stories. "This app saved my sister," one message read. My heart raced as I watched from my laptop. Media started covering it. "Mystery app exposes hidden scams." Victor smiled during our meeting. "It's working, Nova." I added new features, better maps, instant alerts. Downloads reached hundreds of thousands. Investigators began using my data. Real arrests happened. I stayed completely hidden behind layers of protection. Some forum threads mentioned Harold's name in connection with old deals. He probably felt the first chill. At 20, I quit the diner and worked on the app full-time. Donations from users kept it growing. I hired remote helpers Victor vetted. The app added AI to spot fraud faster. Users called the unknown creator a hero. I smiled in the dark. The feeling of power was new and strong. I was no longer powerless. I controlled something huge. Harold's campaign continued, but my creation was becoming his worst nightmare. My app caught major press attention. A journalist contacted me, but I stayed anonymous and gave her data that exposed dozens of fake guardianship networks. Headlines screamed, "Guardwatch, the app uncovering family fraud horrors." A respected journalist named Karavas emailed through the app, "Who are you? This story is massive." I paused, then answered anonymously, "The data matters more than me." I sent her clean files showing dozens of connected networks. Her first article hit front pages the next day. Anonymous creator reveals widespread guardianship abuse. Police made more arrests. Lawyers, officials, fake guardians. Users sent grateful messages daily. "You gave me my life back." Victor warned me to stay careful. "They'll try to find you." I used extra protection online. Kara kept pushing for an interview. I finally agreed to voice only, distorted. We talked for hours. "Why do this?" she asked. "Because I lived it," I replied. Her follow-up stories deepened the impact. Congress started talking about new laws. My data was quoted in hearings. Harold's name appeared in some reports, old ties surfacing. His campaign ads suddenly looked nervous. At 21, Guardwatch had millions of users. Partnerships and grants came in. Anonymity still held, though cracks were forming. Exposing those networks felt like breathing fresh air after years underwater. Dozens of kids were freed because of what I built. I was no longer the scared girl they sold. I was the storm they never saw coming. With Victor's guidance, I registered a real company under a pseudonym and started raising serious funds. Victor said it was time to grow bigger. "You need structure." We created Shadow Tech under the name Alex Reed. Layers of legal protection kept me hidden. He introduced me to trusted investors through secure video calls, my face and voice altered. "This mind is brilliant," he told them. Money started flowing, $500,000 in the first round. I expanded Guardwatch with new features and made it work globally. I hired a small remote team, every person carefully checked. We rented a quiet loft office I rarely visited. At 22, I was a secret CEO. Revenue grew fast from donations, premium tools, and grants. Victor joined the board quietly. "I'm so proud," he told me. Harold's election campaign was heating up. He looked confident in polls. I tracked his donations closely. Many came from shady sources tied to the old scams. I smiled at the irony. Shadow Tech raised millions more. I invested some wisely, building personal wealth. Life felt balanced for the first time. Real friends, careful dating, but always guarded. The pseudonym still protected me. A few close calls with leaks happened, but we handled them. The apps reached users in Europe and Asia. Real change was spreading. I sat in boardrooms through proxies now. From a sold teenager to a hidden tech leader. The shift felt unreal, but it was mine. Meanwhile, Harold had become a city councilman and was running for higher office, bragging about his perfect, clean image. He won a council seat and immediately aimed for mayor. His ads repeated clean image, strong family values. Interviews painted him as the ideal public servant. I watched clips online and felt sick. He lived in our old house, fully remodeled with money that included my sale price. He had a new wife and young kids now. He never mentioned me, erased completely. Guardwatch users started tagging his name in reports about old deals. He called it fake news and ignored it. His campaign received huge donations from the same dark groups. I saved every detail. At 23, Shadow Tech was strong. We raised even more funds. Victor advised patience. Hit at the right moment. Harold's speeches about protecting families made me laugh coldly. Some app posts linked him directly to past fraud. Small media stories appeared. His poll numbers dipped a little. He attacked anonymous hackers in interviews without knowing he was talking about me. My own life was busy and meaningful. I spoke at small events anonymously. The past still hurt sometimes, but scars were turning into strength. His arrogance grew as election day neared. He had no idea I was watching every move. The clean image he loved so much was about to be destroyed by the daughter he threw away. I discovered Harold was funded by the exact same dark money group that paid him $1 million for my transfer. Deep research through shadow tech tools showed the truth. Donations to his campaign traced back, through hidden companies, to the same network that bought me years ago. Records matched perfectly. Victor looked over the proof. This is explosive. At 24, my company was valued in millions. I owned major shares and real wealth. Harold's campaign looked strong despite small scandals. The dark money kept flowing quietly. I sent anonymous tips to Kara Voss. Follow the money trail. She started digging. I fed her more evidence from my old USB copies. Her reports began connecting political funding to guardianship abuse. The same group supported politicians who blocked reforms. Harold was one of their favorites. His public confidence started cracking. He looked nervous in debates. I smiled from my hidden office. The group behind the scams began to panic and threatened leaks. I strengthened my security. Articles about the dark money grew bigger. Harold's poll numbers dropped fast. He called it a smear campaign by enemies. He had no idea his biggest enemy was the girl he sold. The proof of my sale now pointed straight at him. Everything lined up. Dates, amounts, names. The discovery gave me complete control. He wanted power and money. Soon I would own both, and he would have nothing. I built a second app called PolitiGuard that mapped political donations to guardianship abuse. It went viral in days. I launched it quietly, linking it to GuardWatch data. Users could see donation trails and abuse cases on clear maps. It exploded online immediately. Downloads hit millions. Media went wild. New app exposes politicians tied to child exploitation rings. Kara Voss broke the biggest story using my anonymous tips. Politicians panicked and denied everything. Harold appeared dead center on the maps, his donations clearly linked. His poll numbers crashed overnight. He screamed hoax on live TV, but the data was unbreakable. At 25, my two apps formed a true empire. Investment offers poured in. My team grew quickly. Victor called it a game changer. You're rewriting rules. The viral spread forced real action. New laws were proposed fast. I remained completely hidden. PolitiGuard exposed dozens more corrupt officials. Guardianship reforms gained massive support. Harold's campaign died quietly. He stopped most public events. My creation had become his destruction. From the girl sold for profit to the woman controlling truth, the reversal felt perfect. The app saved lives every day. Viral success brought global change. Timelines matched exactly. My sale at 16, my slow rise, his greedy climb. The maps showed undeniable patterns. He wanted political power. I took it away with facts he couldn't erase. Internet detectives started connecting the entire scandal directly to Harold, but nobody knew I was the mastermind. Online communities dug deeper every day. Forums filled with evidence, old documents, witness accounts, donation records. Councilman Harold is neck-deep in guardianship fraud, they posted. Proof piled up fast. Everyone wondered who created the apps. Who is Alex Reed? Became a huge mystery. I watched from safety and smiled. Kara protected her sources perfectly. Harold hired expensive PR teams and denied everything. I'm the real victim here, he claimed. Calls for his resignation grew louder. My life stayed secure and growing. The apps rescued more kids weekly. Victor reminded me daily, stay hidden until the perfect moment. A few close calls happened, but my protection held strong. The scandal dominated news cycles. The dark money group faced federal charges. Harold was questioned repeatedly. He looked tired and scared on camera. Nobody connected the dots to me yet. The exposé remained pure data, no personal revenge visible. His precious clean image lay in ruins. He wanted respect and power. I stripped both away without him ever seeing my face. Online detectives got closer every week. Justice was closing in. I gave an anonymous speech at a major tech summit that was live-streamed worldwide. I ended with words that became famous. Victor arranged a secret slot for Alex Reed. I spoke from a dark stage with voice alteration. I was sold by the people who should have protected me, I began. The huge audience went completely silent. I described the scams, the apps, the lives saved. Millions watched the live stream. I closed with power. They told me I was too difficult to love. Turns out, I was just too powerful to control. Thunderous applause lasted minutes. Clips went viral instantly. The quote appeared everywhere. Shirts, posts, news. Harold watched at home. Reports said he looked pale and shaken. Online speculation exploded. Is the speaker the sold girl from years ago? My identity hung by a thread, but the rush of speaking truth felt incredible. At 26, I had become a legend without showing my face. His political dreams ended that night. My words took away his last control. The quote defined resilience worldwide. I finally owned my story completely. My real identity leaked online. Overnight, I became a global symbol of resilience, and support poured in from everywhere. A skilled hacker posted proof on a major forum. Alex Reed is Nova Lynn, the girl sold by Councilman Harold. Evidence spread fast. By morning, my name was trending worldwide. The sold girl who built an empire. Messages flooded in, thousands of thanks, offers of help, huge donations. I stepped forward carefully. Media begged for interviews. I chose a few trusted ones. Yes, it's me, I confirmed calmly. I turned pain into purpose. The world embraced me as a symbol of strength. Kara wrote a beautiful cover story. At 27, my face represented hope for survivors. Harold's remaining reputation collapsed completely. His campaign was long dead. I used the attention to start planning my nonprofit. Support built a safety net I never had. Resilience became my brand. From hidden creator to public hero, the shift felt right. He wanted to erase me. Instead, the world celebrated me. Harold tried to sue me for defamation, but I destroyed his case with proof. The lawsuit arrived quickly. He claimed everything was lies that ruined his name. I almost laughed. My lawyers filed mountains of evidence. Signed contracts, bank transfers, my old USB records. Court dates were set fast because of public interest. His legal team crumbled under the documents. This proof is undeniable, Victor said proudly. The judge dismissed his suit and ordered him to pay costs. I filed a countersuit for damages. The public watched every moment. His image, what little remained, shattered completely. At 28, I walked into court calm and prepared. The evidence spoke for itself. He lost before it even started. My countersuit moved forward strongly. He had wanted to silence me one last time. Instead, I owned the courtroom and every secret he tried to hide. My story inspired countless victims to come forward. Lawsuits flooded in, and the entire guardianship scam system began to collapse. Hundreds share their experiences online after seeing me speak out. Class action lawsuits formed quickly. Entire networks faced criminal charges. Federal agencies raided offices. Congress passed strong new laws within months. My apps were quoted as key evidence. Harold was indicted along with others. At 29, I helped guide the reforms from my position of influence. Real change protected thousands of kids. The dark system that sold me finally unraveled completely. Inspired lives rebuilt because one girl refused to stay silent. His greedy world turned to dust. I owned the future he never imagined. I bought the development company building luxury projects in my old neighborhood, the same one Harold had lobbied for years. His contacts had pushed the project hard for profit. With my wealth, the purchase was easy. I became the new owner quietly at first. Then I announced it publicly. The neighborhood celebrated. Plans changed to affordable housing and community spaces. His old lobbying efforts became meaningless. At 30, I controlled land he once dreamed of profiting from. I turned his vision into something good. He wanted those deals. Now I own them completely. I returned to my childhood home. It stood abandoned after Harold fled scandal. I walked through the broken halls alone. Memories rushed back. Mom's laughter, Harold's anger, my fear. Every room told a story. I left a simple note on the hallway mirror. I own this now. I had bought the house cheaply at auction. Later, I turned it into a safe home for teens escaping abuse. The past no longer owned me, I owned it. Harold was indicted in federal court for fraud, minor exploitation, document forgery, and bribery. Charges hit like thunder. The courtroom filled with reporters and victims. Evidence from my apps and records was overwhelming. His expensive lawyers couldn't fight facts. Plea deals failed. He insisted on trial. At 31, I watched him face consequences he never expected. Justice finally arrived. I testified against him in court and faced him for the first time in years. I spoke clearly. I was the daughter you sold for money. And now, I'm the empire you failed to build. Our eyes met across the room. His face fell, defeat clear. The jury gasped at my words. Truth rang through the courtroom. The verdict came, guilty on every count. Harold was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. The judge's words were firm. Cheers echoed outside from supporters. His life of lies ended behind bars. At 32, I felt truly free for the first time. I launched the Freeborn Initiative, a nonprofit rescuing and supporting exploited minors. My story reached global news daily. We built safe houses, legal aid, education programs. Thousands of lives changed because of it. At 33, my legacy focused on healing and protection. At a global leadership summit, I spoke to 10,000 women. If they try to bury you, good. You're a seed. Grow louder. The crowd erupted in roaring applause that lasted minutes. My journey ended not in revenge, but in purpose, lifting others as I rose.